Hi, welcome to the second in this short series of videos intended to give you a bit of help and advice as you prepare for your AS Media exam. This particular video is all about the concept of audience, which, as you should by now know, could be the focus of question 2, the stepped question, or question 3. Now, whether it's 2C worth 15 or whether it's question 3, you'll be called upon even to use your own detailed case studies. We'll come to those in a second. Now, there are two approaches to audience questions. There are those that ask you to focus on how texts target audiences. These are text to audience questions. You can easily spot them because on the question, the word text will come before the word audience. In other words, in what ways are text? How do texts target specific audiences? How do texts appeal to audiences? All that you do in answering these questions is pick case studies that have a specific audience in mind. So for example, you might pick the This Girl Can campaign, you might pick Men's Health front cover, and you might go through the mode of address, the visual codes, the representations, the ideologies and values being constructed, how it fulfills specific uses and gratifications, personal identity, entertainment, social interaction for the audience that the text's been devised for. That's the most straightforward approach. My best advice, if it is a question like that, how do media texts target audiences? Choose texts to write about that have a specific audience in mind, where usually that may be a text that's gender-based, but it could be age-based, could be ethnicity-based. They give you the easiest point of entry into the text. Use plenty of terminology, draw on a theory like uses and gratifications to explore how they offer personal identity, they reinforce the values of the audience, they try to construct and position the audience to take that preferred reading if you're calling upon reception theory. The second kind of question is the one that some people find a bit trickier and a bit harder to handle. Now this is what I'd call an audience to text question. Again, easy to spot. On the exam paper, the word audience will come in the question, rather. The word audience will precede, i.e. come before, the word text. In other words, why do audiences respond differently to the same media text? Or they might ask you to talk about what influences how audiences respond to media text. The theory that's bubbling in the background to this that you should bring into your answer is of course reception theory. You should be able to talk about how media texts construct a dominant or preferred reading, but how, because we are all, we're not passive, we're active media consumers, we are all, and texts are polysemic, they're open to a wide range of interpretations. We are able to take, for various reasons, which I'll come to in a second, we can take different responses. We can take the negotiated reading, we can take an oppositional reading, we can really reject the ideology that the text is offering to us. Now, the ideas that you're exploring here, why do audiences respond differently to the same media text? Well, simply because we're different genders, we're different ethnicities, we're different ages, we have different values and lifestyles, we have different experiences, we experience the text in different situations, what we refer to as situated culture. Now, the best text to talk about here would be text, again, you think of the Cosmopolitan cover with Katy Perry on the front cover. Now, there's something that constructs a preferred reading that sees women as sort of liberated, confident, confident in the workplace, sexually confident through some of the taglines and cover lines that appear on that front cover. But it could also be argued that it objectifies women still in the use of that medium long shot of Katy Perry bearing, quite a bit of flesh, even on a magazine that's targeting a female audience. You could argue that it has this obsession, it constructs this idea that this ideology that women should still be obsessed with appearance, with fashion, these subjects that could be argued undermine their confidence, their self-esteem that exist in order to sort of provoke insecurity among a female readership. So you could negotiate with that text, You could give an oppositional reading of that text. Different values will mean it means different things to different people. Harry Brown. If you're an older audience, you may look at Harry Brown, the character of Harry Brown, the protagonist there, and feel empowered, feel a sense of voyeuristic pleasure, feel a sense of the righteousness of him going on that revenge, sweeping away these youths, these hoodies, these examples of moral decay and moral panic. But if you're a member of a young, you're a teenager watching that film, you may feel that you want to reject that ideology, that this is a text that demonises you, this is a text that stereotypes you, this is a text that simply reiterates and reinforces a very negative representation of you. The fact that you are young, old or young, will determine, to an extent, to a degree, how you respond to that text. What you're doing with questions like this, you're at times putting yourself in other people's shoes. How might other people respond to this text? So it's a case of just, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, someone else's perspective, and thinking of reasons why someone might reject that reading. You want the best texts to explore for this, or why we respond differently to the same media text, or the things that influence how we respond to media text. You want texts that give a strong, where you can talk about a strong ideology being constructed, a strong, clear set of values. You think of the UKIP, the first 100 days on Channel 4. There was a programme that offered this dominant reading that we should be horrified, scared and frightened of UKIP coming to power. There are going to be many people, not just UKIP supporters, but other people who felt that was an unfair and unbalanced representation of the issue. Different values, different beliefs, different ages will mean people respond to that text in different ways. You think of the Sainsbury's Christmas advert. Now we saw on the Gogglebox clip that you've probably seen, or you can watch now via Moodle, that people responded differently to that. Some people, as Sainsbury's intended, the preferred reading, were very moved, found the emotional resonance in that advert. Other people felt that it was a cynical ploy by the supermarket, to make us feel these warm, trickly feelings. I don't know if the word trickly was the right one there, but this warm, gushy feeling. I don't know if the word gushy was right either. But it wanted us to feel that they were just. Some people felt they were just using war, using the mythology of this, in some would say, mythological moment in the war, in order to make us feel warm things about that supermarket. Was that just a cynical ploy on their behalf? So that's it's a tricky question to answer, but if you just look for texts that have a strong ideology, and then you can explain how people might reject that particular ideology. Okay, there'll be more from me soon. Good luck, see you soon.